It's time for the RMAC Radio Show, featuring all the latest information from around the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. The RMAC is a proud member of NCAA Division II. Now, here's your host, Eric Damage.
Welcome to the RMAC Radio Show. It is the final week of RMAC basketball this week, so we have all kinds of races coming right down to the wire. We're going to start today with women's basketball. We're going to talk about men's basketball in the next segment, along with the upcoming RMAC Track and Field Championships on the indoor side. We're going to talk with Brady Bonsall, the head track and field coach at Nebraska Kearney. Then we'll wrap things up in segment 3, talk a little bit about the upcoming RMAC Wrestling Championships, which will be in San Francisco this upcoming week. But we start with women's basketball. Metro State right now on top of the conference standings with a 20-1 record. Now they are on top. Fort Lewis is 19-1. Metro has played one more game. Only play Regis this upcoming weekend, so could end up in a tie if both teams win out, and then we have to get out the abacus, as we've said most of the year, to determine who is the actual conference champion. Colorado Christian right now 14-6. They're followed by Adams State and Mesa State, who both sit at 13-7 and play a crucial game this upcoming weekend. CSU Pueblo, they're also in 12-8 is their conference record. Then it's Nebraska Kearney. They have clinched a spot at 11-10. Western and Regis are battling it out for the final 2 spots in the RMAC shootout. Western at 9-11 have a tall order this upcoming weekend against Fort Lewis and Adams, and then Regis at 9-12. They have a game against Metro, so both those teams have to fight their way in to get that 8 seed. Kendra Coviel of Adams State is our RMAC/Baden Offensive Player of the Week. She averaged 20.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, 4 assists this past weekend. Jenna Sanesteven of Fort Lewis is our Defensive Player of the Week. She recorded a career-high 6 steals against Colorado Christian University. As we mentioned, Adams State, Mesa State, they got a big game coming up this weekend, and we're now joined on the RMAC hotline by Vera Jo Bustos, one of the top players for the Grizzlies. Vera Jo, how's it going today?
I'm doing good. How are you, Eric?
I'm doing good, Vera Jo. Hey, first off, want to pass along our congratulations. This past weekend, you were able to set the all-time scoring record at Adams State College with the 1,719 points, surpassing Dominique Skihan. That's a record that stood, I believe, since the late 70s, early 80s. You got to feel pretty proud of that accomplishment. Yeah,
I do, but I got to give a lot of credit to my teammates and coaches, because without them, I would be nowhere near that accomplishment.
We're talking with Vera Jo Bustos, a senior guard from Adams State College. Vera Jo, when you first signed on to play at Adams State College, did you have any idea that here 4 years later you'd be walking away as the all-time leading scorer in school history?
I had no idea, but I had big goals when I signed here at Adams State, and I'm just proud to have accomplished the stuff that I have.
Vera Jo Bustos right now 4th in the league in scoring, averaging 17 points a game. She's also 5th in free throw percentage at 81.5% on the year. Vera Jo, beginning of the season, you guys are picked number 1 in the league. You had a huge target placed on your backs. You've had a good season, 13-7. But is there any feeling that maybe that preseason ranking kind of maybe put a bigger bullseye on you guys than maybe should have been?
I don't think so. I just think that we didn't take care of business when it needed to be taken care of. But it's just one of those things that you have to come out and fight for. And even if we weren't picked first, we probably still would have been the same place we are now. So it just, I think that just gives our program something to be proud of, since I came in my freshman year, just to know that we've stepped up and, have come thus far in those years that I've been here.
Talking with Vera Jo Bustos, senior out of Las Vegas, New Mexico, plays for Adams State College. Vera Jo, big weekend coming up here for you guys. 13-7 right now. You're tied for the 4th spot in the RMAC with Mesa State College. How important is it to have a home game in the first round for you guys?
It's very important to us, and I think everybody that has played at Adams State knows the environment that we bring and the crowd support and everything that happens here. So it's going to be a huge, huge deal to us to get that home game.
Talking with Vera Jo Bustos. Now, last year, Adams State was able to make it to the NCAA tournament. What did that experience mean for you, Vera Jo? And obviously, you guys want to get back there again this year.
I mean, it was a great experience last year, and I'm hoping that we get back there this year and that I'm even to take it a step further my senior year and just to keep putting this program on the map and keep on going.
Talking with Vera Jo Bustos now. We talked to you a couple of years ago down at Alamosa there, and now one of the goals that you had mentioned was winning the RMAC shootout, and so far you have not been able to get to that championship game. What's it going to take for Adams State not only to get to a possible home game here this upcoming weekend, but to make it all the way to Pueblo in the championship game?
Well, like Coach always says, and it's one of our team mottos, play hard, play smart, and play together. And I think if we do those three things, I think we'll be pretty good, have a pretty good shot of taking the RMAC shootout. Talking
again with Vera Jo Bustos. Now, Vera Jo, you're a senior. Obviously, you got a lot of basketball ahead of you in the next couple of weeks here, but being a senior, you got to kind of have an eye to what's going to happen once you graduate from college here. I know you're an HPPE major. What are you planning on doing here in the future?
You know, I'm kind of torn between coming back and doing the high jump for the track program here and starting my master's at Adams State, or going to play overseas. So between those two decisions, I'm not sure yet. I'll make my decision once basketball is over, because right now I'm just focusing on basketball. But that's what I have in mind.
Now, Vera Jo, do we have breaking news here on the RMAC Radio Show that you might be a high jumper? Tell us about this high jumping experience. What's your highest that you've jumped before?
In high school, as a freshman in high school, I jumped 5'3", which was a state-winning jump. And since then, I haven't really high jumped. But the track coach here, he got a hold of that I was a high jumper in high school, and I won state and with my athleticism, and he wanted me to come out for the track team after and see if I had any potential in excelling there.
Well, that would be quite an accomplishment there, Vera Jo. Now, you mentioned overseas. How does that process work? I know there's been some Adams State players in the past that have gone overseas to play. Do you get contacted by, teams? It's not like the NBA where there's like a draft and that kind of thing. How do you go about playing overseas?
No, you would have to contact an agent, and that's the thing now, since I can't talk to anybody until basketball's over. So I'm still kind of not aware really of what's going on. Once basketball's over and done with, I'll get a better feel of what's going on. But I've talked to some former players from here at Adams State, Megan Hoffman, just about her experiences playing overseas, and a couple other friends, and I think that may be a route I want to take.
Well, Vera Jo, we want to wish you the best of luck and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, that is Vera Jo Bustos, all-time leading scorer in the history of Adams State basketball. That's quite an accomplishment. As we mentioned, Dominique Skihan is the record she broke, and that was back, about 30 years ago or so now. So quite an accomplishment for Vera Jo Bustos. And for more on what's happening in RMAC women's basketball, let's head over to Garrett Rotonia at the RMAC Sports Desk.
The field is just about set for the shootout, as only 2 spots remain for the postseason. On Friday, top 5 Fort Lewis puts their 10-game win streak on the line as they travel to Gunnison to take on Western State. The 19-1 Skyhawks could potentially dent the tournament hopes of the 9-11 Mountaineers, who are in with a win over FLC. Colorado Christian looks to stop another mini-slide as they host UCCS. The 14-6 Cougars need a win over the 7-13 Mountain Lions to get closer to that first-round home tournament game. 2 13-7 squads face off as Adams State hits the road to battle with Mesa State. It's a clash of 2 teams tied for that 4th and final first-round home seed. The Grizzlies have won 6 in a row and would love to make this lucky number 7. CSU Pueblo still has an outside shot at those first-round home games at 12-8. The Pack will need to take down a 3-17 Colorado Mines team in Golden to keep those chances alive. On Saturday, Metro State is the top team in the RMAC at 20-1, maintaining a half-game lead over Fort Lewis. The Roadrunners play inter-city rival Regis with an opportunity to lock up that top seed if Fort Lewis loses. Regis also needs a win to have any chance of going to Pueblo next week. But the Skyhawks would have to drop their contest on the road to a very challenging Mesa State team. A weekend sweep of wins by Metro and FLC would mean a tie at the top in the RMAC. Colorado Christian and CSU Pueblo tangle it up in a matchup of tournament teams, and Adams State and Western State play in a big contest. Western State needs at least one win this weekend to stand any shot of making the tournament field. Nebraska Kearney is in the tournament but have been sliding as of late. The 11-10 Lopers play host to fellow state rival Chadron State in Kearney. I'm Garrett Rutonia, and this has been your RMAC Women's Basketball Update.
Thank you, Garrett. When we come back, we're going to talk about men's basketball and indoor track and field. You're listening to the RMAC Radio Show.